Hey guys, it's Austin again from the Coach's Compound here with part 2 to the deadlift video. Today we're going to go over a quick assessment that you can do with your classes or your clients to see how you should deadlift, and we're going to go over some variations of the deadlift. Stay tuned. When it comes to the deadlift, flexibility does make a big difference. So when we think about the concept of flexibility, it is the range of motion that a joint has. And if you still don't know what a joint is, go ahead back to our anatomy lessons, the very first videos, and you'll learn there. But let's say with your lower back or back in general, slash your hamstrings as well. When it comes to the deadlift, flexibility does make a big difference. But more people than not actually have the adequate flexibility to perform a deadlift correctly. If you want to test your athletes, you can have them go through this very quick assessment, and you can show your athletes that deadlifting from the ground or deadlifting a certain way, the conventional way, isn't always the best per person since everyone is different. So what you can do, have your athletes line up or wherever they are. You're going to tell them that they want to try to keep everything as neutral as possible on their back and to lock their legs out. Okay? Legs are about hip width apart. When they lock their legs out, tell them touch their toes. Okay? Touch the toes. Have them stand back up. See from different angles. And what you're looking for is if the athletes have to kind of unlock their knees in order to touch their toes. So you can say, okay, keep your legs locked out, go as far as you can without bending your legs. Then you'll see the true flexibility. Oh, it might be like mid-shin or barely missing the toes. And then as well, what you're looking for is to see, just like we went over in the last video, with the proper hinging, are they just rounding with their upper back, or can they shoot their hips back and touch their toes from there? But when it comes to that, oftentimes if you just correct them, teach them what they're doing at the same time, they'll get it correct. If their athletes don't touch their toes or have excessive rounding in their upper back to touch their toes, and you've gone through all the stuff to try to get them there, what you can do is, let's say, let me move this down here. Let's say your athlete could only go to about sock level. What you would tell them is you want to stack plates up to that point, or if you have risers or blocks, stack plates up to that point so they're deadlifting from here rather than from the full range of motion in the deadlift. Okay? Reason being is that athlete does not own that flexibility point. They are not flexible enough to pull from that position. And then add load, aka you're going to have a hurt lower back eventually. So what you can do is have them rise it up and then have them work on their hamstring flexibility. But what you'll hear oftentimes from dudes especially is they try to touch their toes and they can touch it, but they're like, man, my hamstrings are so tight. Well, clinically, your hamstrings are not tight enough to make a difference if you can touch your toes. So go ahead and have your athletes run through that quick assessment. You can do that in a class setting, individual setting, whatever it may be, and you can see if your athletes should be deadlifting from the floor. So this first variation of the deadlift is simply just a tempo deadlift. So in this case, I'm going 5 seconds down, 5 seconds back up. With this tempo, you can make sure that you have correct positioning and make sure that you feel this in your hamstrings and not your lower back. This next lift is called the barbell RDL. RDL stands for Romanian deadlift. This exercise focuses on the down portion of the deadlift. And as you can see, when we get this freeze frame up here, I'm going down, and you can see where I go down to is the point at which my hamstrings feel the most amount of tension. Therefore, I'm going to stop right there. This next one is called the Sumo Deadlift.
Sumo means a wider stance. As you can see in this position, my toes are slightly facing outwards and my hands are between my legs now rather than outside. From there, I'm going to stand up, and then same thing as a normal deadlift. You'll probably feel more glute activation in this deadlift, so it's a good option. These next three variations have to do with a single kettlebell. Here is just a normal kettlebell deadlift. Then we're going to switch over to single arm, and you can do a single arm deadlift just off to the side. And then after this will be the single arm and single leg RDL. On the same side that you were holding the kettlebell will be the same leg, and then you are going to balance on that leg, hiking the other hip back. Try to keep your hips as straight as possible during this exercise, and then you just switch sides. Much like the single leg kettlebell deadlift, or RDL, this is now called the Landmine single leg deadlift. Landmine is when you have a barbell that is anchored into some kind of corner, and just like with the kettlebell, we are using this to make a single leg deadlift, except in this variation you are holding the opposite arm, opposite leg. So as your right arm, your left leg, you're balancing your left leg. As you're working your left your left arm, then you are on your right leg, trying to keep your hips as straight as possible.
So like in the last video, we talked about kind of getting your body acclimated to the movement of the deadlift over time is going to help you prevent lower back pain, get stronger the right way, and increase your longevity with the movement. So along with the slow progression, kind of we'll call the neural adaptation, is what's called variation of the exercise. So what you can do to help mitigate the problems that a normal conventional deadlift could bring about if you kind of don't give your body the chance to adapt is you let it adapt. So let's say a 4-week cycle. You do your conventional deadlift for 4 weeks, and then the next 4 weeks you change to the sumo stance like we went over. And then assistance exercises during both. The first 4 weeks you do your deadlifts and you have your single leg RDLs. Then the next 4 weeks you have your single arm deadlifts to supplement your sumo deadlifts. So variation is going to help you increase your strength over time as well, and it's going to help decrease the likelihood of yourself being injured. Okay, so adding variation to your program, whatever it may be, is going to be very important for the success of you as a coach and the success of your athletes as well. So make sure that you are adding in variation from time to time. Don't always do the same exact thing. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, let me know. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, stop searching, start coaching.